Live.
We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sunshine Ordinance Task Force Complaint Committee meeting in room 408 on October 27th, 2015. It is now 4:06. Mr. Young, can you call to order, roll call, agenda changes, and let's also see who's here. Thank you.
On the call the roll, Member Eldon.
Here.
Eldon present. Member Pilpil.
Present.
Pilpil present. Chair Fisher.
Present.
Fisher present. We have a quorum. There are no agenda changes that I know of. I believe that we have a complainant for item number 5 in the room. Are there any complainants here for item number 2, file number 15032? I do not see any hands. Is Mr. Mendenhall in the room? I do not see Mr. Mendenhall. And is there anyone here to represent file number 15120? I do not see anyone here. I believe we only have one complainant here at this time.
Really?
Let's do that.
We can go through in the order of the agenda if you would like.
Remind me where we are on this, with this committee. Do we plow through it? Is it?
Our standard procedure is to table matters where the complainant does not appear and does not provide advance notice. I did speak with the complainant on item 15120 that I will go over with you when we get to that.
That's number 6.
Yes.
So let's go in order here. Item number 2, 15032. The
Or we can
complaint.
take the items out of order and just go directly to the person who's here if you would like.
Yep.
Well, is the respondent for item number 2 here?
There's only one respondent and they are here.
That's for all of them?
Yes.
So she's here anyhow.
Yes.
Let's go.
We're going to take item number
Killing me.
5 out of order at this time. File number 15117, complaint filed by Anonymous against the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency for allegedly violating Administrative Code Sunshine Ordinance Section 67.25 for failure to respond to various immediate disclosure requests in a timely and/or complete manner.
And the
Would someone like
complaint.
to make a motion to find jurisdiction?
Just wanted to check again, the complainant is somewhere?
He's here.
Complainant is here.
Okay. I'll make a motion to find jurisdiction.
Can I second?
Yes.
Am I allowed to? Oh, second. Should jump in though. So we're doing.
Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on jurisdiction? There are no members of the public who would like to comment on jurisdiction.
We take that without objection, Madam Chair?
Yeah, we can go without objection.
That motion is passed without objection.
Okay, should we jump in with the complainant?
Yes.
Okay, if I can get the complainant up here, you will, for item number 5, 15117. Is this your first time with us? Yes. All right, then I'll give you a quick overview. You will get 5 minutes, which Mr. Young will time. There's a big clock there for you. You'll get 5 minutes up at the microphone to present your facts and evidence. And then the respondent will also get 5 minutes. Then there'll be a Q&A. So if you feel like you didn't get everything in, don't worry about it. You'll have another chance to come up. So why don't you start? Oh, and is there anyone, well, we'll get to that. If anybody else wants to offer facts and evidence, they would say something too if you brought anybody with you. But go ahead.
I have a general complaint just about the response time from SFMTA.
Well, and one other thing, you identified yourself as anonymous. Do you want us to refer
My
to
name's
you as that?
My name's Roy Brubaker. You
Okay,
can refer to me as Roy.
that way I can call you Mr. Brubaker.
Yes.
Would it be acceptable for me to change that in the title of the complaint, or would you like to remain anonymous?
Sure. I think that was probably just an error on my part. I just wanted to. I feel like I need to make the statement that I did not receive what I was requesting in time. I didn't receive what I was requesting, which was a video footage from a bus that ran me over in 2012. Mm-hmm. I received video footage from another bus with no explanation. And I asked for specific facts regarding cases involving muni buses versus bicycles, which I did not receive, and I didn't receive any reason why I couldn't get that information. And I'm basically just here to file my complaint because I feel like as an individual, I don't have power against the city, and I feel that it's my duty to file my complaint because this seems like a systemic problem within San Francisco. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if you want specific dates of my request or anything like that.
We have all that here, and normally this would be in the Q&A, but since you're here, have you gotten, so you still have not received all of the information or the videos that you're looking for?
I did ultimately finally receive information that there was no video from the bus. I requested maintenance records from the bus and did finally receive maintenance records. I have not received any information regarding the number of cases involving Muni versus bicycles. I specifically wanted to find out how often video cameras are broken or end up being broken during these kind of cases. Especially given the fact that Muni buses are now going to be used, the cameras are going to be used to issue citations to drivers. This is an important thing for me because if the cameras are going to be reliable for that purpose, then they should be reliable for providing evidence that could help individual citizens as well.
Okay, so
We'll have some questions, but thank you.
Okay.
Support.
is there anyone here to offer any facts in support of our complainant here? Okay, then are you the
Have a seat,
respondent?
Mr. Brubaker.
Or are you?
Sorry.
Are you the respondent?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then let's reset the clock. And as a respondent, come on up. You do need to identify yourself as you're representing the city.
Yes, definitely. Hi, my name is Shaheen Sheikh, and I joined SFMTA 7 years ago, but started working with Video Unit in April. So in regards to Mr. Brubaker, I do want to apologize that it had to come to this point. I'm new to the division, like I said, and I tried to respond. So when he first requested for the video, when he says that he didn't receive it, we responded to him. I sent it to him right away what I had. Mistake on my part was, so when you look at this video, it says 5626, and so I took it out, make a copy, sent it to him. When he got back to me, I did go back to it and then realized, so this was not the copy. This is when I wasn't working with the department or with the division. And so I did realize that, okay, this is actually the witness bus. We were not able to get the copy to the request to the bus he was requesting back then. So, and there are instances when...
So when you say witness, this was another bus on Market Street?
Yes, another bus on Market Street.
For more time.
So that was one.
I'm the chair.
Also, so I did personally call Mr. Brubaker, if he remembers, and tried to explain him. He wanted to know more about I used the word slip, and I should have said Muni request form then. But he wanted to know more about that, and I called him, and we talked about that. Then he came back. So basically, yes, my mistake was that I should have, which I didn't realize myself till later, that it was the witness bus, not the bus he was asking for. I think that's mainly it. If we can move on to question and answer.
Yeah, let's...
Speakers in support.
Okay, so let's finish out your up to 5 minute and go to our next step, which is, is there anybody in the gallery that wants to offer facts and evidence in support of the respondent? Anybody else?
There are probably other MTA people on other complaints.
Oh, okay. Apparently not. So now we will move to, thank you. You can sit down. So now the matter is with us, the complaint committee, with questions. And I'm going to let you go first, Member Pilpel. Do you have a question for Ms. Sheikh or Mr. Brubaker?
Let me start with Mr. Brubaker, if you can approach. So you stated earlier that you were hit by this particular bus, the
56.
5626?
Right, 5626.
Okay, so you were looking for the video shot not from inside, but the forward-facing camera?
I was looking for any video
Any
that
video
that
from
recorded
that.
on the
Okay.
bus. Mhm.
And you thought they provided you something, you thought that was it, you checked it, it wasn't, da-da-da.
Right.
You still have not gotten the video from that, and they're saying it doesn't exist.
They're saying that the video on that bus malfunctioned 3 days before I was hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yet was still on the street. Anyway, is there is there a claim or some other legal process that's underway or that you're intending to initiate?
I don't think you've asked that.
No, I mean, this kind of boiled up from maybe paranoid sentiment, but I challenged the city in a lawsuit and lost with lack
Oh,
of
okay.
evidence. No video footage, no witnesses. And it still has quite a big toll on me emotionally, and I thought if there's a chance that this video is out there and it was being withheld, I'll request it again and see if I can get my hands on it. When
The litigation already happened.
That's correct.
Okay. So was there any other, are you aware of any other bus or any other, because you asked for red light camera footage.
Correct.
Were you looking for like anything else in the neighborhood at the time?
Did I go around and look for that?
No, I mean, is that what you were trying to get at? Is
I
it-
was trying to get any kind of evidence that showed my incident,
even though it's like 3.5 years?
just to
Yeah,
settle
okay.
my own.
No, that's cool. And then not finding that, you were trying to understand the maintenance records and if there's any other incidents like this where there was a coincidence, malfunction.
Correct. I didn't get any of this information from my lawyer at the time. All I know is that he had requested information.
Okay.
So I wanted to investigate on my own and figure out the reason why I couldn't get footage that I was requesting.
Okay. I think I understand the nature of your request. Let me go back to MTA and see what we can do with that.
Okay.
Thanks. So,
So have a seat, and we'll call you back up again.
to Ms.
Thank
Sheikh. You're fine. So to Ms. Sheikh, and I don't know if I need to state on the record, I've known Ms. Sheikh for many years, and this is her latest capacity over at MTA.
Yeah, we do need to know that, so go on.
Okay, but fine. I know Ms. Sheikh is a city employee and no more. I don't believe it'll bias me in the matter. So let me be clear first on your assignment. So you're now the video coordinator. You replaced Emily?
Yes.
Okay. And this was a reassignment from FIT?
Yes.
Okay. Their loss.
FIT?
Finance and Information Technology at MTA. Okay, so let me understand. So you worked on Mr. Brubaker's initial request and all the recent follow-up?
Yes. So
Okay.
it was between me and Caroline where I gave the information to Ms. Salaya, and then
Okay.
as she's our sunshine coordinator.
Understood. When are you aware of the lawsuit that I just found out about and whether the city searched for video in the connection with that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Somebody else might know, you don't?
No.
Okay. It is in fact true that the system was malfunctioning on the vehicle at the time, and so there actually is no video from that vehicle.
That's true.
Can you explain again very briefly why the video from the other coach was mislabeled or misidentified?
So it wasn't mislabeled. It was
Okay.
just that they didn't find video for that coach. So they went a step ahead and looked for a witness coach if they could find the incident on that.
Okay.
So I could see, like, if this incident were to happen today, that is an exact step I would take, because I would want to help in any way I can to get the video that they need.
Okay, so
No,
it was
so
sort of a
it-
substitution.
Yes.
And this second coach, the 6269, I mean, that's an Arctic diesel and the other was a standard trolley. So do you have any information on what line that was operating and where that happened to be at the time?
Well, it does say here, so all I know is what's written on the form.
Okay.
And basically it says run 25, line number 31. That's what it's saying. Let's see. Yeah, line number 31, that's what it says.
Okay.
It has, it's a Presidio coach.
See, that's confusing because 5626 would be a Presidio coach on line 31, run whatever, but 6269 would likely be a Flynn coach.
True. For 6,000 is a Flynn coach.
Right.
But there are certain times when, buses are used.
Right.
I
But
wouldn't be more...
It's unlikely to me that a Flynn coach would be operating on the 31, but be as it may, Mr. Brubaker has that video if he finds any value to it, so be it, probably not. As to the follow-up questions, it sounds like you worked with Mr. Brubaker on the slip and the maintenance records, and apparently there's a video shop that maintains the video devices. I sort of figured that out from some of the other items.
You're right.
Okay.
True. So...
And is that over at 700 Penn? Is that where they're?
I think they recently moved.
Okay.
They recently moved to... I'm not sure where exactly they
Okay,
moved.
but
they
they're
recently
out in the
moved.
field somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. And you work with them on maintenance of the systems and try to ensure that the stuff is all working, et cetera. Is it the normal practice that when a video recording device is not working on a vehicle, that a vehicle is not sent out and that is corrected? Or are there instances where that's not on the checklist and it may be in service?
I'm not sure about if it's not sent out. I doubt it because basically the video on the bus has to go out. We have to stay on the schedule for that. But as soon as they find it, they correct the...
Right.
Like we wouldn't know till... So none of the buses that are that are out there right now, I would know if it's working or not unless a video is pulled from that bus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. There is some regular testing, I believe, is done where they find they try to find what's working and what's not, but
Okay.
There's no possible way we could test all 900 cameras, and each bus has like up to 12 cameras, 8 to 12 cameras, 8 to 11 cameras, sorry.
Does maintenance control try to keep track of that as part of the shop system, or is there some other thing that
I believe
keeps track
so.
of the components
I
to
think
ensure that they work?
I think it's Hugh and the group, yeah.
So when
Maintains
a
the
video is pulled, is it your experience for, I guess, the last 6 months or so, that normally that video comes back and it is good? Is it unusual, unusual to find out that the video wasn't working and you don't have video to report?
It's not unusual. No.
Not unusual.
Meaning in a sense that, we could go to a bus and pull a video right now, and, there might be a bus out there that, the video is not, it's not recording, basically. Or in this case, I'm not sure since I wasn't there, but a lot of time is that we lose it because of the fact that the recording is, we say it's 72 hours,
Right.
It gets re-recorded over it.
So it needs to get pulled at the end quickly,
So-
or that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
So
And I have a question about this.
jump in and then I'll come back.
I'm going to jump in. So this is a question I had from an earlier case even. You're saying that the video gets, for lack of a better term, taped over. I know it's analog, but overwritten. There's the digital.
Overwritten. There you go.
Overwritten. After 3 days, and yet Mr. Brubaker is asking for something from like 3 years ago, and you were able to pull up the witness coach bus video. So how was that available?
No, so it was done back then. There's nothing I did on this case. It was done back then when it was requested. I guess it had an SFPD case. So
okay, so because
When there's an incident, it's
It gets
pulled.
pulled.
It's pulled,
So this
exactly.
got
this
pulled in
wasn't
our-
just a coincidence, it was pulled, and I'm just guessing here, it was pulled because of some other situation, perhaps a case with the city attorney or something like that. So it was pulled,
It was
and you had it, and it was...
Where there's a
It was on
shooting,
file.
It was
where
on
there's a
file.
shooting, an incident, an accident, or something, it gets pulled and it gets archived for
2
forever or
years.
for a period of time? Or it-
Legally 2 years, but we keep it
Longer.
But because
as long
the-
as we can.
Because the technology system you guys have has limitations, you are not always able to generate recordings even for the other types of situations that come up. So it's like a regular
Use the mic.
It's a regular thing that happens for any situation where you might want a video. Is that what you're saying?
So
You like the issue he faced where the recording just wasn't working. That's common for any. I mean, if there are 8 to 10 cameras, like 25% of them failing at any one time. What's
failing, that's something I'm not sure, like how often it fails the percentage time. But being re-recorded over a video, that's something that's depending on how much terabyte is on a bus, like it's 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte, and it gets recorded only for that time being, like 3 days.
But in this case, the video was pulled because of
because we have a PD case and it was requested,
right,
and that's the reason we had it.
But the video at the time was malfunctioning, so the PD didn't get it either.
No.
But what they got was this other.
They got the
coach.
witness code.
Yeah, which was maybe not the information they needed.
Something. So if I can come back on this question of maintenance. So you said that it is not unusual for the system not to be working, but you don't have some kind of report that shows the number or anything on?
It is unusual for system not to be working because, they're doing, testing it all the time. But I'm not sure on the percentage of how much, where the system fails. And that is something our video shop might be able to provide.
Okay. The video shop.
Video shop meaning
is that something that you can work with Ms. Zelaya to try to facilitate either something from the video shop, or I was thinking maintenance control if there's something in shops or some other system? Because I think Mr. Brubaker was looking for information on kind of the failure rate of the video system. I'm actually surprised to hear you say that a coach would go in service even with the video not working. I know that there are certain things that are sort of checklists that, if this doesn't work, it doesn't go out. And if this
like
doesn't
brakes.
work,
So
brakes, for example.
Yeah. I'm not sure on that part. We can get back to you on that as well. Because, like I said, I just joined, as I'm learning as I go.
Understood.
And
So
we can
if you
definitely get back to you on
Right.
whether the bus goes out, if the camera is not working.
If
then
there's a policy on that, I think Mr. Brubaker would probably appreciate that. So if you could follow up with the video shop, maintenance control, and I guess motor coach maintenance, for lack of a better group, Neil Pop's people, and find out what is on the checklist that it has to go or has to get held. And if they have any data on malfunctioning units. I mean, I've got to presume that something is driving the workload in the video shop, and it's got to be, replacing batteries and checking out DVRs and whatnot, right? So they must have some work order system that perhaps you'll find something that you can share with Mr. Brubaker.
Definitely.
Okay. And I think that goes to sort of his follow-up request, not his original request, but his follow-up request. And it appears to me that you did work diligently once it got to you, that you were the person. I think you did work with Mr. Brubaker to try to get him what information you had. Unfortunately, you didn't have the subject video from his incident, but you did what you could. That was my sense. I'm just about done. I think I'm all set, Ms. Shake. So, Mr. Brubaker, is there anything else? Since we can't get you the video that doesn't exist, I tried to ask them to do some further research. Can you come up again? Is there anything else that you would like that might help in lieu of the video itself?
No, that would be super helpful. I did have questions about the maintenance, like when the maintenance was actually done. I don't know if you want me to handle this offline.
It seems like you've got a decent working relationship with Ms. Shake. If she's able to get you some of that information, I asked a couple of questions. Maybe that would get you some stuff.
Okay.
I
have some maintenance records here, but the dates it's like January 5th and April 15th, so They don't necessarily coincide with 3 days before,
Understood.
but I can work with her through email later.
And you can follow up with Ms. Sheikh or Ms. Salaya. You might want to just ask for the entire maintenance record from 2012 to the extent that it exists for that coach.
Okay.
And they might be able to pull something from that. The maintenance control, there's a system called Shops that I think, or VMS. What is it now? Somebody help me? Transstat? What? Help me. Shops? Okay. The shop system should have information on the vehicle maintenance record. Whatever it was seen, if that, maybe that helps you. I don't know.
Okay.
And if there is information that you were looking for on claims history, you could ask them separately. I would make a separate request for claims against the MTA involving bikes or fatalities or whatever it was, and maybe you can try to correlate that. But I would do that as a separate request because that
Sounds
probably
good.
doesn't involve video.
So you're saying his requests about the bike incidents is not for now?
Well, I think you asked for that as a separate thing, a kind of a follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, in
The
the
number of incidents involving bikes
Yeah.
was a follow-up request.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm not sure that the video team are really the best people on that. I think if you start over with Ms. Salaya
Okay.
and reframe that in the context of the claims and accidents, they could probably get that to. They could probably find out some information for you on that. I don't
Okay.
know how extensive. You're going to have to do some more work on this.
Sure, I can proceed that way.
Okay.
Thank you all.
If this was not an immediate disclosure request, and it appears, no, you didn't frame this as an immediate disclosure request. You just made it as a regular public records request.
I'm seeing the words various IDR right here, immediate disclosure requests.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. Mr. Young, was it on his original request?
I didn't have enough information when I received the
Okay.
request, so I made an assumption that there was more than one request.
Okay, well, we'll let this
So-
one roll.
So my
Because-
sense is
let's
that
just let
you
it roll.
requested this on March 30th of 2015, and they responded on April 4th, sending you a copy of the video. So it seems to me that it was a timely response. It was, within the following week.
It wasn't until I followed up and said that it was the wrong video that it was more than 10 days that I didn't receive a response. And then, I did receive an apology for that. But like I said, I just wanted to...
Understood.
Put
But
it on the
I
record.
think we've gone through it. If there was a violation to be found, I think we would find it. I'm just not feeling it right now. I feel like you asked for stuff, they gave it to you, it was the wrong stuff. When you discovered that, you went back and forth, and they provided what they could. And it seems like they actually made a good faith effort on this one. And I've asked them to follow up, and I trust that they will.
At the
And that you're
same-
going to work with
At the
them.
same time, if there are constant failures in video recordings, that's a huge issue for us and for a lot of city departments, law enforcement, right? I mean, a bicyclist was just killed by a bus on Market Street a couple weekends ago.
Yeah,
I
10
think-
minutes after I rode by that exact intersection while I was watching the Blue Angels.
Good thing you were early.
I realize that's beyond our scope for right now, but I mean, it will if we can't hear that every time somebody wants a video
Right.
and they can't get it.
I mean, I think one of the other cases that we're not currently hearing involve the policies. And actually, can I turn to Ms. Sheikh for a moment? Yeah. Although we're not hearing that item on the merits, the SOP on video collection and all that, that was old. I mean, I looked at the list of approvers. They're all gone, literally.
You have that right. We
yeah.
are.
You're in the
matter
process of
fact,
updating that SOP?
You got that right, yes.
Okay. And so
Definitely.
I think Member Eldon's point about video being a concern citywide, other than MTA, the PD has safety cameras, there are surveillance questions about First Amendment activities. MTA has cameras on vehicles, cameras in stations, cameras in facilities, cameras that you don't want to talk about, all kinds of things. And you've got video retention periods in the record retention and destruction policy
2
and
years.
schedule,
That's
2
2
years
years.
unless there's an incident. You've got the SOP that you're rewriting. There's a whole chain of command in security. You work with the PD. There's a lot behind security. I mean, you're the face of security, but there's a lot that happens.
Yes.
And you try to protect both passengers, employees, the public generally, and yeah.
But the question about the checklist before the... Yeah. Okay.
So perhaps, I mean, if you're interested, we could do a separate hearing on, or discussion on video. I mean, we got into that a little bit with the drones and the body-worn cameras. I mean, there are a lot of issues with video collection, retention, dissemination. I mean, if someone asks you for a video, you're going to pull it if you have it, but you may have to review it for redaction, images, city attorney. A lot of issues get raised. Taking the video is the easy part.
My specific concern was just that she was saying that there are regular failures in video and that they send buses out anyway with malfunctioning video units.
Can you put the mic?
I'm not sure about on that process, and we will get back to you on that, whether the buses go out or not. If
because it just seems like it's going to be a recurring issue for us here.
Could be.
And it's like, I mean, this is my first time at this
I'm going to cut you both off there. Yeah. This is not the MTA commission that you used to be on.
No.
Personally, I'm very curious, but on the other,
not their
whatever you were. Mr. Young, is there something that we could do? Is there like a letter of request or something that we could send to, maybe it would just be to Ms. Shake or to MTA to say, hey, what are your procedures for this?
You can ask her verbally right now to...
well, I think we've already have, and Ms. Shake doesn't know the answer.
You can ask her to find the ansars and submit the response to us.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it doesn't take you more than 5 minutes I didn't even know there were 12 videos. I always get on Muni and I wave to the one that I see. I'm always waving. So I was just curious, and I would hope that we don't hold up an entire bus just because one, camera is out.
Working.
But if we do, I'm pretty sure they're doing it on the 23 bus, which is my bus that seems to go out of service all the time. So if you could check on that for me, too.
At the same time, it's a dissatisfying answer for the complainant to hear, oh, sorry, it just didn't work that day.
Yeah, no, that's...
And it's, and there's no way for us to actually go in there and investigate and say, yep, that's what happened. He got the slip. That's the end of the story.
Well, and then the other question, this happened, what month was it, in 2012, Mr.?
March.
So this was, we're talking almost 4 years ago now.
3.5.
So I would, 3.5, I would hope, I'm optimistic that the system has gotten better, that the cameras are better and not worse.
Definitely.
And there have been new vehicles arriving since, and they're all checked out. So it's kind of.
All right,
so if you could.
Belaboring this. But.
So I'm not sure that I'm prepared to find a violation here, but I think we made some requests. If you can follow up with Mr. Brubaker on the things we talked about and anything else that he's interested in, perhaps Ms. Salaya as well, if there's something. And if you could also copy the task force, or at least members of this committee, in particular on the policies for vehicles going out, if you could check with the maintenance gang on that, and what your schedule is for rewriting the two SOPs. And in fact, when those two SOPs are approved up the chain, if you could send a copy to us.
Definitely.
I think
it's at city attorneys right now, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's already being, I worked on my part, and it's already at city attorneys, so.
And do you know who's on that? Greenberg?
Chris and my boss sent it to, I believe, John, but
Kennedy.
I can confirm on that.
Okay, all right.
My last question.
He is John Kennedy.
This did come up, and I may have missed it. Are there data that exists that say, this is very morbid, but Muni versus pedestrian accidents, 2010 to present, Muni versus bikes, 2010, Muni versus cars, does Muni versus pigeons, I don't know, does that exist? Because I believe that's what Mr. Brubaker had asked.
So he asked about which videos were malfunctioned, like bicycle versus Muni.
I'm saying how
You
many
just wanna
accidents.
generate-
I just want to know how many
general
Muni
one, yeah.
accidents did we have in 2012 that involved bikes, that involved pedestrians?
I would
We-
suggest that Ms. Sheikh is perhaps not the,
Well, that was on the, wasn't that on the, one of the requests?
I'm unsure at this time.
it was a
Okay.
follow-up request, and I think she said that they didn't have
Okay.
records responsive.
You're
I mean,
filing another.
The follow-up request was, how many...
use the mic.
Just to answer your question, I did receive data on
Oh,
how
you did,
many
okay.
accidents there are per year. It's something like 20. And the follow-up request was, how many of those accidents were cameras malfunctioning on?
Oh, that was the question. Okay.
And so that's what I'll follow up on
Okay.
my own.
That's
afterwards.
yeah, that's what I'd like to know. Okay, we're
She's the
belaboring
video
this.
person and
Right.
claims as city attorney and the safety people. Just to be clear, though, the video group is still part of, is it now still called Safety, Security, and Enforcement, or,
Yes.
okay, which is not under Sustainable Streets, but under,
Safety investigation, SIE, investigation enforcement.
SIE, okay, not SSE, SIE now, under Chris.
Chris.
Okay. It's hard to
Okay.
keep track of the players at
Right.
MTA. You got to
You're still good.
update your org charts. Okay.
All right, I think I'll let
Okay.
these guys go.
So we've made requests, and you'll follow up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would you like to make a recommendation of any type?
No.
You need to make a recommendation of some type. A recommendation to the full task force that no violation has occurred
Oh, okay.
would be my recommendation.
Because I know when we're the full, we just
Yes.
close it out. Okay. So then would someone at this table like to make a recommendation?
Recommend no
that-
violation.
And would you like to
Is there a second?
I'll
second
second.
it? Okay.
The motion is to find that no violation of the Sunshine Ordinance has occurred and make that recommendation to the full task force.
But we will reference the requests that were made.
Yes, I will put into the recommendation that I write the request we have to the SFMTA and the documents that they will be providing us in the future.
Okay.
And we hope in the future that Roy, Mr. Brubaker, we hope in the future that Roy will be happy.
Thank you, everybody.
Very good.
Is there any public comment on this motion? There is
Hearing
no-
none, let's move on to the next item.
On that motion, Member Eldon.
Aye.
About one.
Eldon, aye. Member Pilpil.
We vote
Pilpil, aye. Chair Fisher.
aye. Sorry.
Fisher,
forgot
aye.
about
The
that.
motion passes.
Hearing none, let's vote on that. Having finished that, let's move on to the next item.
Item number 2, file number 15032.
Sorry, and
complaint-
that'll be for December.
Yes, it'll be in the December agenda.
Okay.
File number 15032, complaint filed by Ali Ataha against the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency. I have not received any communication from Mr. Ataha, and he is not in the room at this time.
And who is the respondent for this?
That'd be the SFMTA.
But, okay, but who? The person? Is it
Salai
Mish?
is their representative.
I
Is
don't
there a
know who she
representative who would
is.
like to speak on it?
Okay, just because you know everybody in this building. All right, Mr. Young, what do we do here?
I believe the standard action, since if they do not communicate with us prior to the meeting and they do not show up, is that I would you should table the matter. I will inform the complainant that the matter was tabled and give him information on whether, if he would like to refile or not.
Okay, so tabling means you have to refile.
It is closed,
It's closed.
and it does not go any further.
Do we need a motion for that, or?
You would need a motion. The department is here if you have any questions regarding this.
Well, if they're here, could you tell us a little bit about this?
I have a couple of questions on it. Sorry.
Member Pilpel, you may have some brief questions, so come on up. Brief questions.
Well, you want to start?
No, I have no questions. Member Pilpel?
Hi, you're Ms.
Sheila Evans Pegues.
Hi, nice to meet you. This was interesting stuff, I thought, in a way. just two things. Have you provided the additional, whatever it was, the CUCP meeting information on a rolling basis to Mr. Altaha?
We have.
Okay.
And we've completed that request, submission of all the docs that we could release to him.
Which involved reviewing up to 15,000 pages and all kinds of...
Well, he actually changed his request
And narrowed
because
it?
initially he wanted all documentation within the California Unified Certification Program, which is a statewide program. There's 11 members that do disadvantaged business enterprise certifications for the U.S. Department of Transportation for the state of California. And every month we meet by teleconference, and we transmit minutes and transmit reports of activities and so forth done monthly. He wanted all of that correspondence for those monthly meetings starting from 2002, which is when the California Unified Certification Program went into effect. And just an estimate, I figured initially we're talking probably 6,000 documents. I had no idea. We're talking about many years. And so we notified him of that and said we would send you what we could when we can, and I would work on it on, like so many hours per week. Mm-hmm. And we did that. And then after,
Essentially invoking the rule of reason.
After about submission of 2 or 3 times, he said, you know what, you're not giving me what I want. And I just want, he said he wanted a list of firms that were certified under Engineering Next Code, which is the North American Industry Code or whatever, and that was submitted. And then he said, I don't want all that other stuff, I just want the minutes. So I went back and I was able to get the assistance of IT because that stuff is archived.
Okay.
And then you have to retrieve it. It's a long, tedious exercise.
Got it.
And so IT was able, after a couple of weeks or whatever, to find the minutes, and we submitted that. So.
Okay. And I saw you had city attorney involvement. A lot of people worked to clear this, but his request has been responded to now in full. As it was narrowed, et cetera, he's got all the stuff.
Everything that we could submit legally, we did.
Fair enough. And since I don't know what it is, I think you just said it's the California Unified
Certification Program,
Okay.
which...
That's fine.
Okay.
I just didn't know that acronym.
Okay.
Can you tell me what NICIS code 541330 is? That's a new one on me.
It's an engineering code that's given to engineering firms. Once they're certified, you have to assign a code.
Got it.
Per
so it's
feds.
within this federal certification program.
Correct.
This is not the city's LBE or DBE or MBE program. This is a federal thing.
That is correct.
For federal projects, which is why you had Robin.
Correct.
Because it's all Robin, right? Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you for doing the work.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
No.
All right.
Once again, in the absence of Mr. Altaha,
Make a motion.
I think a motion to table is appropriate.
Yes, thank you for coming, though.
Seconded.
You've seconded.
Is there any public comment regarding the motion to table the matter? There is no public comment. On that motion, Member Eldon.
Aye.
Eldon, aye. Member Pilpel.
Aye.
Pilpel, aye. Chair Fisher.
Aye.
Fisher, aye. The motion passes. The matter will be tabled. Would you like me to read the next 2 items together since they are the same complainant?
Sure.
Who is not here?
Yes.
But the respondent is here.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so then,
Item number 3, file number 15046, complaint filed by Larry Mendenthal against San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency. Item number 4, file number 15091, complaint filed by Larry Mendenthal against the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency for allegedly violating Administrative Code, Section 67.21 and 67.25 for failure to respond to an immediate disclosure request in a timely and/or complete manner.
all right, who is representing the respondent? What is the name of the person representing the respondent? It is Ms. Shake again.
Yes,
So you drew the lucky straw on this one.
seriously.
Member Eldon, Member Pilpel, do you have any questions? This was items, these are all, I'm trying to remember which one this was, 3 and 4. I reread these. I usually do it by,
I guess I could ask a couple of questions.
well,
So
this was, just remind me which ones these were. This,
the first was about the hearing procedures,
Right.
and the other was about the video retention and disclosure policy.
Okay, this was the 3-day video. Okay. He's not here, so I'm going to recommend that we table this
I think
unless
we're
you
good.
have any brief questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll do the same. But let me just ask, the hearing division, is that actually under your group?
No.
But you just happened,
I'm just here for
The
the
other part of
SOP
it.
part. Yes.
okay. The other part is still in
That's-
finance, and that's the Julie Rosenberg's group?
Yes.
Okay. She's not here, but Caroline is.
I believe Caroline is going
Okay.
to.
Yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to relay them to her with regards to that
I mean,
portion of it.
I think what just appeared to me is that he was concerned about the policies for hearings and didn't get that information until after his hearing, which was of little to no value at that time. So something like that, which appeared not to be a complicated request, I think is something that could have been handled sooner, or in its absence, he should have been able to get a continuance of his hearing so that he could have understood the procedures better. I mean, I think if I recall from the information, his hearing was on March 3rd, and the information got to him on March 4th, something like that. And there were a couple of days that you were out. Or so. Anyway,
Right.
there's that. And then the other complaint was in relation to the video policy, and I think we talked about that already, and that's in the process of being revised.
Yes, okay, great. I'll take your comments back to Julie about the timeliness of for her providing the,
I mean, it appeared that there was some confusion with the attachment that they couldn't open and you couldn't open, but it appeared that somehow Roberta had the magic touch and was able to open it and respond and pulled the information in her response and said, here's what you're looking for. So that being the case, I'm not sure that the delay in opening the attachment was that germane. I mean, I don't want to get too far into the merits because he's not here, but I'm just, and I understand from what we have before us and some of the other things that I know are circling that, Ms. Zelaya, that you have a difficult job and that you get a lot of requests, some simple, some incredibly complicated, and that you've got a lot of stuff to navigate through here. So I guess part of it is what happens in your absence, and another part of it is getting the other divisions within the one big MTA to be timely in their responses to you. Because, of course, they should all drop everything and respond as quickly as possible, but that doesn't always
right, and
happen.
we've recently done some retraining, and we're taking it to the, we've done retraining and training of new staff and staff that needed refreshers last month, and we're actually going to be training the division heads, reminding them of the importance of staff responding promptly so as not to visit you people again, although we enjoy visiting you.
Yes.
We don't
Always
want, we want
happy
to
to
be
see
in
you.
compliance at all times, and we want to be timely in all times. And
In
so that's why
particular
we're
on IDRs,
we're
but
taking
with
it to the
everything.
next level
Okay.
of the division heads to say, you need
Good.
to remind staff of the importance of this, of responding to these, and you may have 1,000 other things to do, but these have legal deadlines.
But Caroline's number one.
So we're definitely taking it to the next level to
And
remind
just-
staff.
And just like you have a backup person, either
Right, Roberta usually is my backup.
or somebody else, if both, whatever.
There's always somebody
There's
checking
always
that-
somebody
that
checking
email.
Correct, and the phone line.
Exactly, exactly.
So to the division people where you have a point person,
Right.
they should have a backup person.
Exactly.
So if Leda or Shaheen or whoever is unavailable, somebody else needs to be in the loop, and the division head needs to know. Yeah. So you're
Right. I've just
getting
been
all
into a
that
case
together.
where somebody went out on paternity leave, and so now I'm bugging that division head saying, give me another body, and there should
Right.
always be a second body.
Right.
We need backups. We're not always available. People take leaves, they're sick, they're
Right.
vacations. There's always got to be somebody else who's informed on how to respond to these, not
It's
just.
kind of like having an
body.
extra board. You know.
Yeah.
Where did
You
John
need
go?
people to step in
Yes.
when the main player is out. So we'll definitely remind staff on the urgency of responding to these.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Mr. Young, do I do public comment? I mean, we didn't hear the case, so we just...
I do not believe there's any members of the public in the room at this time.
We'll take a motion.
So why don't we do a motion then?
I think Eric's doing the motion on this one,
Motion to table.
Motion to table.
and I'm seconding.
Second. Public
There are no
comment?
members of the public in the room to comment at this time.
Let's just do the vote
On the
then.
motion, Member Eldon.
Aye.
Eldon, aye. Member Pilpil.
Aye.
Pilpil, aye. Chair Fisher.
Aye.
Fisher, aye. The motion passes. The matters will be tabled. Next on the agenda, file number 15120, complaint filed by Anonymous against the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency for allegedly violating Administrative Code Section 67.25 for failure to respond to immediate disclosure requests in a timely manner and or complete manner. I would just like to let you know that I did receive a phone call from the complainant yesterday stating that he just received the notice of hearing. This person only accepts U.S. mail. I sent him the request on October the 13th. He did state that it was postmarked on October the 13th, but he just received it yesterday. And he didn't specifically state a request for continuance, but I believe that is his intention, that he wants at least 2 weeks' notice before the meeting. However, I don't think I can do that because I don't know if my agenda is finalized until 2 weeks prior to the meeting.
Right.
Well, I think we have a couple of options here. Since he's not here, we could table it, which is our normal practice. He's been in communication. We could continue the matter to the call of the chair, and it could get rerouted elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there. Can we just continue this to next, whatever our next complaint committee meeting is, and give him a specific date, and also give the respondent a specific date with a ton of
I would
notice?
suggest that we just send it directly to the task force for the December meeting.
Okay.
That way I can just say we continued it to December
That's fine,
4th.
yeah.
That I would like to see if the respondent is available on that date.
Okay, because I'm going to give this guy, this situation, a break, because something is definitely going on with the postal mail. I got invited to a fire department NERT event 3 days after I'd already been to it. And the thing was postmarked October, 4th, and I didn't get it until 3 days after. So
Yeah.
there's definitely something going on with San Francisco
I
mail.
noticed last night for a meeting
Does
yesterday.
the
Yeah.
respondent
Who is
have
the
any
respondent?
problems with returning on December the 4th to hear this item?
Who is the Who is the respondent? Who are you?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Sly, the
I know who you
custodian of
are.
records. Okay, Lita is our designee for transit operations, so she was responsible for responding and coordinating the staff response. So her and Mr. Sean Kennedy were here to respond to the complaint. So Lita has just now indicated that yes, she can be available on December 4th.
I'm not sure that I've ever met Ms. Rosier, so nice to meet you.
Okay. Well, as you said earlier, you cross-train people, so somebody will
Right.
be here.
Yep.
Okay, let's do it
This-
that way then.
Yeah, I have no problem forwarding it to the full task force without recommendation. I would suggest, if I could make a couple of comments, as usual, the anonymous complainant who we've seen before. Yeah, Pasquarello. We had him on the library.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
Older guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, in my opinion, his request was not framed in the most useful way. He asked in kind of an arcane way for actions that the MTA has taken. The only action, and there was an email from our good friend, Mr. Kennedy, the only action that was taken was to, it wasn't even to certify the EIR, it was to approve the TEP as a project with legislation to follow. So I think what he's actually looking for is any records related to the proposed relocation of the 33 off of Potrero, which would include not things before the MTA board, but any correspondence, anything about public meetings, anything that the MTA has received, any internal stuff. There was this idea to move the 33 off of Potrero was going to happen, may still happen, hasn't happened, was deferred. et cetera. So I would suggest that anything that you can dig up on the 33 moving off of Potrero is actually the issue that he's looking for. And I suspect that there are some records responsive, not just the March 2014 action of the MTA board. Does that make sense, Mr. Kennedy? To put you on the spot? Hop up, come on, come on. You're not going to get out of here that easy. Use the mic, use the mic.
Yeah, I mean, we can provide all of that. I mean, he didn't state that, as you kind of noted in your preamble. He didn't state that in his request, but I have no problem providing that information, and we can circle back with him and see. I mean, he'd asked for a complete copy of all motions, action, regulations, and rules.
Right, that's what I was saying.
That have come before the MTA board. So that's what we provided, but we can
between
surely
you,
provide
right? Between
email and all
you,
that stuff.
Julie, service planning. We used to have files on by route, so whatever you've got on the 33,
Yeah.
not the north end, not the middle end, right? You understand the getting off Potrero. It's an issue,
yes, I
it's a
understand.
concern, it's a particular concern to our anonymous complainant friend.
Yep.
Whatever you can find would be great. If you can provide him stuff in the next few weeks and say, this is all that we have on this topic, wherever we've found it, perhaps he will even withdraw the complaint. I don't know, but that would show good faith on the MTA's part.
Sure. Sounds good.
Right?
Yep.
Plus, you should call me sometime.
I do owe you a call.
Okay, so do we need a motion
Is there
on
a
this?
motion to refer this matter to the task force for hearing?
I'll make that motion. I would like to make a motion to refer this to the full task force for a hearing in December.
That would be
Aye.
December the 4th.
I mean, seconded.
Is there any public comment on that motion? There is no
Hearing
public
none.
comment. Member Eldon?
Aye.
Eldon, aye. Member Pilpil?
Aye.
Pilpil, aye. Chair Fisher?
Aye.
Fisher, aye. The motion passes. I'd just like to state for the record that there were additional items on this agenda originally. However, upon calendaring it, they were withdrawn.
So, which is a good thing
Yes.
for you, and yeah.
Item number 7 on the agenda, general public comment. Members of the public may address the complaint committee on matters that are within the committee's jurisdiction, but not on today's agenda. Is there any general public comment? There is none. Item number 8, announcements, comments, questions, and future agenda items. Are there
That's
any
you,
announcements?
isn't it? Well, I
It's all of
forgot, how's our backlog?
If you want, this is the
Thank you.
complaint committee, so
Thank you,
How's the
MTA
complaint
people.
committee backlog?
there are
Sean, you're going to call me.
probably
How can he call you and I can't? Go ahead.
we have approximately 15 complaints by Paula Detesh, probably whittled down to about 10 now, that will be on the next complaint committee agenda in November. There are some other new complaints, probably approximately 5, that could possibly come to the complaint committee.
When is the next complaint committee?
That would be November 17th, I believe.
Was that the one that I could not make? Wait, November 17th?
Yes.
That
I
is the,
think that will be part of the Compliance and Amendments Committee.
Okay,
There's not
yeah,
going to be a
that-
separate complaint committee that month.
yeah, I mean,
With
I'm,
all the holidays coming up in the next 2 months, there are really no open dates, so the Compliance
get-
and Amendments will take care of it.
okay, because if you get desperate, I could be here between 4 and 6, but then I have training at 6:30.
We will figure that out.
And I'm doing the training, so I have to be there.
We'll figure it out at next Wednesday's meeting, who can sit on that meeting.
Okay.
But it's Compliance and Amendments, so they should have 2 members already. We would just need a 3rd.
All right, we have a full task force on the 4th.
Yes.
How many items?
Bursting with people.
We have approximately 6 to 7 items with some special issues to discuss. But most of them are linked together.
My only comment, and Victor and I have talked offline, I think those complaints that are particularly aged, I mean, the Al-Taha thing, I know we had not scheduled for a period of time, hoping that he would show or that it would get resolved. The stuff that's been kicking around for 6 months or close to it, I would like to have the full task force or a committee somebody hear them as soon as possible. I would like us to not see these complaints age as much as they have. And if that means that collectively the task force has to meet more often, or the committees need to meet more often, or we need to throw more things on the agenda and mix it up so it's not just one department or one complainant, or whatever we got to do, I really would like us to reduce this backlog. We've had this kind of over our heads for as long as...
You're saying the thing over our heads is that this guy has all these complaints that...
No, that a number of... in general, that the number of complaints kind of exceeds our disposition rate. And so we sort of get more, and then we sort of dispose of a chunk of them, but we continue to be behind. And the ordinance talks about a 45-day period by which things should be adjudicated, and we generally don't make that.
We've never made that.
And we should. We should at least try, and I feel like there's more that we could do to whittle that down.
But the specific complaints that we weren't getting to seemed to mostly revolve around one guy who wasn't showing up still?
There are a number of issues.
Okay.
There was the one guy, there was the other guy,
the other woman.
scheduling dates,
How are we ranking what we see first? How do we rank? So there are all these complaints coming up that we need to be hearing, that we're late on. How do we decide which ones appear in what order on the agenda and which ones get pushed back for later?
Generally, I take the oldest ones first.
Okay.
But I do make some exceptions to try to group either the complainant together or the respondents together.
Okay. It just seems like if there are people who are habitually, and there's a term we used at the last meeting, who are habitually asking us to look at things and then not showing up, they're gumming up the entire system for us. And so
there are a couple of
That
people
is
doing a little
one
of that.
of the reasons Mr. Ataha's complaint wasn't scheduled was in that I knew he wasn't showing up, so I wasn't going to bring the SFMTA just to hear his, because I knew he wasn't going to show up.
So
And
that's
that
why
makes-
you piled on a whole bunch
And that
of-
makes sense, but it's kind of like, how long do we wait? And when someone, as you may have seen at, I think, your first meeting, or maybe it was the meeting before, where a complainant withdrew and then refiled, so we're going to hear it again. There are people who have figured out how to game the system, and that's not cool either, because then others are delayed, respondents show up, and
I'm scared of scheduling more meetings because of a few people who are gaming the system, and we don't, I'd rather finding a way within the bylaws that we have to manage those people while hearing everyone else in a timely manner. But
right, I think we should be organized to hear the one-off people, particularly those that we haven't seen that have a gripe, legit or not, and we should be able to deal with those quickly.
Yeah.
The regular folks that you've started to see, the people with concerns about the library and the Arts Commission and whatever else, we're going to see them on a regular basis, and they're going to have some issue one way or the other. Sometimes we find it, sometimes we don't, but it's like... Yeah.
That issue can be taken care of at the discretion of the chair.
Okay.
And the chair can direct me to take things in certain orders.
Okay.
For complaint committee?
She handles the scheduling for the complaint committee, and
Oh, you mean Allison?
yes,
Sure, okay.
I run everything by her, and
Yeah, I remember that. I
And
don't
we've-
have to do that anymore.
And we've got some proposed revisions that still need some more work on the complaint procedures, which would give even more discretion to the chair and Victor to group things and to cluster some things.
Yeah, it's there are sort of governance conceptual issues around giving more power to the chair to manage that stuff, but it seems like for what we're in the middle of, it's like it's either everyone loses out because we try to manage the edge cases for a few people who are gaming the system or have particular agendas that are far beyond our capacity to deal with, or we essentially consolidate power a little bit so that we can be efficient with people who actually have one-off, important, specific things we need to manage. And it's challenging either way, but
It's
many
not
of the
exactly...
one-ups- many of the one-ups I can resolve on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those, we don't even see sometimes, right?
There are a lot of things
Yeah.
Yeah.
that get mediated
Yeah.
I mean, I filed a complaint today, just before the meeting, that hopefully we won't have to see, so, you know, I mean,
You
I won't
filed
be
a
able-
sunshine complaint?
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
done that ever.
curious.
so-
Dude, don't do
Anyway,
that.
stay tuned.
I will, since it's just us, I was on the phone with a
Let me
department.
adjourn the meeting before we get into these
Well-
other.
Is there anything else?
That completes my agenda for today.
All right,
And
so then,
There being no public comment?
there
on
being no
item?
public comment, we don't make a motion to adjourn, do we?
Without
Yes, adjourn.
objection?
Without
You
objection,
just-
we do?
Yes.
You just say
Then
the
you do
meeting
it.
is?
The meeting is adjourned. Kill these mics. Kill these mics.